Yo, what up, people? This your boy T Feezy back with another video this week. This video we're gonna be talking about Tory Lanez. If you don't know, Tory Lanez has been charged in the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion. This on the heels of his album that he just dropped, Daystar, where he continued to profess his innocence, and he's been exposing a lot of things that's been going on in the industry. Pretty much he says that ever since he's got his masters back, the industry has been out to get him. And in this video we're gonna be doing a deep dive on that, because we know he's not the first one. We got Michael Jackson, Prince, they even tried to get Chris Brown. I'm just gonna be showing you the evidence. And by the time this video is over, you're gonna have a clear-cut answer. Is the industry out to get artists once they get back the rights to their music? Because we know that's where all the money is at. That's where wealth is. That's where you're gonna be able to be pretty much rich forever. So sit back, and I'm gonna just bring you the evidence. So let's go. All right, we're gonna go back. We just building the evidence right now. We're gonna start with Mike. Mike was Michael Jackson. He was murdered in 2009. Before he was murdered, he was in a dispute with Sony Records and Tommy Mottola. He was quoted to calling Tommy Mottola the devil. As you can see on the picture there, the good, the bad, the ugly, and there is Tommy Mottola right there depicted as the devil. He also owned a large piece of the music industry, which was his masters, and he had a music catalog which consisted of people like the Beatles, Taylor Swift, the Jonas Brothers, and any big name artists you can think of. Mike owned some of their music in that catalog. It consisted of over 3 million songs. That's a big piece of the music business. But I'm gonna just let Mike make the case for you. He's gonna tell you in his words.
Anyway, first let me say, I really don't like to talk that much. I really don't. I prefer to perform than talk. You know, let me just say this. The tradition of great performers from, and I really want you to hear what I have to say. The tradition of great performers from Sammy Davis Jr. to James Brown to Jackie Wilson to Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly. The story is usually the same though. You know, these guys work really hard at their craft, but the story ends the same. They usually are broken, torn, and usually just sad. And the story is very sad in the end, because the companies take advantage of them. They really do. And Sony, being the artist that I am at Sony, I've generated several $billions for Sony, several billion, and they really thought that my mind is always on music and dancing, and it usually is, but they never thought that this performer, myself, would outthink them.
Yeah!
So, we can't let them get away with what they're trying to do, because now I'm a free agent.
Yeah.
Now, does that sound familiar to you? I think Tory Lanez came out a few months ago and said, or was it? It was a few months to a year, saying he was a free agent. All right, let's go.
I just owe Sony one more album. It's just a box set, really. It's with 2 new songs, which I've written ages ago. Because every album that I record, I write, like, literally, I'm telling you the truth, I write at least 120 songs every album I do. So I can do the box set and just give them any 2 songs. So I'm leaving Sony a free agent of owning half of Sony. So I own.
Now that right there put Mike in a line of fire. Because if you know anything, I don't care what color his skin was, he was still considered a black man. And you don't qualify to own half of the record business. Let's go.
Half of Sony's publishing, and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it. But I just did good business, you know.
Tell him! Tell it, Michael! Tell the story!
But, so, the way they get revenge is to try and destroy my album. But I've always said, you know, good art never dies. Thank you. I love Unbreakable. You know.
Now you can see how the music business, the music business plays with they try to destroy your name, propaganda. As we can see what they did to him. But let's go.
And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
Respect!
I'm not supposed to say what I'm going to say right now, but I have to let you in on a secret.
Say it.
Please don't videotape what I'm going to say, okay? Turn that off, please. No, what? I don't mind. Tape it.
Oh! Michael is getting gangster today! Yeah.
Mariah Carey, after divorcing Tommy, came to me crying. She was crying so bad I had to hold her. And she said to me that this is an evil man. And Michael, this man follows me, she said. He taps her phones. And he's very, very evil, and she doesn't trust him. And he is a horrible human being. And we have to continue our drive until he's terminated.
Oh! There you go!
We can't allow him to do this to great artistry. We just can't. I just want you to know I appreciate everything you've done. You've been amazing. You're so loyal, Diana. Everybody, Waldo, all the people here, I love you all. You've been amazing.
Thank you!
I love you. But still, I promise you, the best is yet to come.
Yeah! Calm down! Whoa! That's the king of pop! Everybody, the king of pop! Michael Jackson has spoken to all of you today! 3 cheers for the king of pop! Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip!
Very important because throughout the years, black artists have been taken advantage of completely. And it's time now that we have to put a stop to this incredible injustice. And like Mrs. Sharpton was saying, people from James Brown to Sammy Davis Jr., some of the real pioneers that inspired me to be the entertainer that I am. These artists are always on tour because if they stopped touring, they would totally go broken. And it's been, the record companies really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the black artists. Sony Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola is the president of the record division. He is a mean, he's a racist, and he's very devilish. Anyway,
all right. Now, you can hear Mike pretty much said it all right there. If you know, a little bit after that, he was murdered. Now, let's just hear what his sister has to say about that. Okay.
How do you think he died? You've been quoted as saying you believe it may have been murder. Do you still think that?
Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely.
Why are you
I
so
would
sure?
never ever think differently. Because first of all, Michael told me that they were going to murder him. He was afraid. He was afraid
who
for
was
his
going to
life.
murder him?
The people that were involved in his life, the people that were controlling him. This book, Starting Over, is about my life. And it's about Michael's life. It's the parallel between the two of our lives. We share that same life where people come into your life, wiggle their way in, control you, manipulate, control your funds, your finances, everything that you have, and you must do what they tell you to do. And that's what Michael was going through. And he knew that everything that was happening to him was not kosher, it wasn't right, and it disturbed him greatly. And he kept saying it over and over and over again. Yes, Dr. Murray was the fall guy, but it's more to it than just that. He named names. He told me people. He told me to be careful of this one and that one. And in the beginning, I didn't, it's not that I didn't believe him.
Who were the people that he was saying?
People that surrounded themselves around him. People that worked with him. People that were with him the last days.
Any specific names?
Michael wasn't capable of doing these shows that he was supposed to do. Michael only agreed to do 10, and it's because they had him on such a tight rope.
How do you think?
Now, let's look closely at this. Now, just keep in mind that name, Tommy Mottola, okay? Now, let's see who owned, now that Mike is gone, let's just take a look and see who owns Michael Jackson catalog right now. Okay. Now, if you Google who controls Michael Jackson's music catalog, and the result will be Sony, the same label he was in battle with before he died. Okay. Sony buys Michael Jackson's stake in a lucrative music catalog. They paid $750 million. It consisted of over 3 million songs, including hits by the Beatles, Sting, Lady Gaga, and Alicia Keys. Now, from what I hear, that was a major steal for them because the catalog was worth over $2 billion. Okay, now let's just look at Tommy Mottola, who was running Sony Music. Your good buddy there, Tommy Mottola. Okay, you see that? Tommy Mottola. He was a chairman and CEO of Sony Music Entertainment. Okay, so the same people he was in battle with before he died is the same people the music is in their hands now. Okay. Now when you talk about Tommy Mottola, when he said about Mariah Carey, now he was married to Mariah Carey. If you didn't know, that's a side note. It has nothing to do with the video, but that's just, we just got the evidence right there. Now let's hear what else Latoya has to say.
I truly feel that Conrad Murray is simply the fall guy. This was definitely something that was premeditated, that they had planned to do, and they planned to take my brother out, and my brother knew it. And that's why he told me repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly that this was going to happen to him. He explained it to me. He explained it's because of my catalog, which is my publishing, and they're after it, and they want it, and they want their hands on it, and they want to take it away from me. So Michael developed this love-hate relationship with his catalog. I don't want it because it's going to destroy my life. No, it's mine. I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to let them rip it apart and take it from me. This went back and forth. I began to see his personality change. Michael had notes in his house saying how he hates John Branca, he hates Randy Phillips, he doesn't want them around, he'll never fly with them. He just went on and on expressing how he felt about these people. These people were all involved. Mind you, the will, I truly believe and I know that the will is fake. Because Michael was in New York when the will was signed, and they say he signed it in LA, and he did not. And they know this. But yet they put themselves as the executors on this estate. There was another guy that was in the will, Barry Siegel, but he pleasantly removed himself from it. Why would he do that? Because he knew that it was fake and he wasn't going to get involved in the skullduggery. That's why.
Now you heard it from Latoya. Okay, now people, I'm not pointing any fingers. Now, what do you think? What do you think? Now let's go even deeper into this. Now, Prince was involved in an 18-year battle with the record labels for the rights of his music back. Before he died, he had recently got the rights to his music back before he died. Now, you see the correlation. You see that the labels don't like when you get your rights to your music back. Now, which is even more weirder, that when you Google who controls Prince's music now that he's gone, okay, Prince's catalog will be distributed by Legacy Records, a division of what? Sony. Sony. So Sony owns Prince's music too now that he's gone. Okay, now you see that when you get your rights to your music, all of a sudden you turn up dead. Yeah. Okay, is Prince overdose caught on video? Okay, overdose. How do we know overdose? Okay, it's always some. It's always some. I don't want to say conspiracy, but to them is they use conspiracy. They use stuff like that because we never really know. It's always something like that. They overdosed on drugs. It's something never can be proved. It's all theory. But it's kind of weird. Now let's go on to Chris Brown. Now Chris Brown. Okay, Chris Brown signs a new deal with RCA where he owns his master recordings, which is his catalog. Okay, now we see what happens when artists start owning their own catalogs. Weird stuff start happening. Either you turn up dead, you're a crackhead, you're all these other things. Now, a few months later, this is what happens to good old Chris Brown. He's accused of rape. Now, could Tory be next? Are they trying to tell artists something? Sounds like it to me. Now let's just go a little further. All right. Now in 2005, Irv Gotti was indicted on money laundering charges. The feds ran up into his offices and arrested him and his brother Chris Gotti. Now, it was said that Irv Gotti, Suge Knight, Jay Prince, and Dame Dash was set to create a distribution company to go against the bigger record labels in the industry. Now, let's watch a quick video on what happened there.
Now, I'm not particularly cool with some of these brothers' lifestyle, but nonetheless, they my brothers. You understand what I'm saying? We have to look at Damon Dash. We have to look at Suge Knight. We have to look at Irv Gotti. And we have to look at Jay Prince. These four gentlemen that got together and was going to put up $30 million apiece to get in and create their own distribution company to distribute black music. These people got together and said, we'll never let it happen. It'll happen over our dead bodies. All in 1 week, I'm telling you the short version of the story. All in 1 week, they raided the offices of these four brothers. I'm going to say them again. Damon Dash, Suge Knight, Irv Gotti, and Jay Prince out of Texas. The FBI raided their offices and confiscated their records and started piecing together cases against these brothers. And Suge Knight, you already know his story. Yeah. You understand? Went through some court cases, ended up having a white Jewish woman, the owner now of everything that Death Row had put out. And I think she bought it for $22 million. No, $25 million. Ain't that something? She owns the entire catalog. I'm gonna have to get this woman's name so I can put it in my records. Irv Gotti, him and his brother, was brought up on charges, remember? Oh, yeah. Several years ago. And it was publicized because they raided his offices and tried to connect him to some mob ties and some drug dealing and that kind of thing. Thanks to your man, 50 Cent. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then, Rap-A-Lot owner Jay Prince, who they connected to embezzling money and
fraud and laundering money, this kind of thing. But Jay-Z was privy to this information, and Jay-Z was one of the ones that took it back to them. So what did they do? They bought Jay-Z off, to tell the short version of the story. And each one of these individuals had to make a blood sacrifice. So let's take a closer look at this. Who did Damon Dash sacrifice? He sacrificed his fiance. Who was he engaged to at the time? Aaliyah, who died in a plane crash. Who did she...
Now, you still might, if you still have any doubts, and you say, damn, Fiji, how I know this guy ain't lying? Well, let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
When you, Suge, and Gotti were getting together, wanted to create that distribution platform, what was going through your mind at that time when you said, you know what, brothers, let's go ahead and put our minds together and get the job done?
Yeah. No, I love the Black Power movement where we all had a meeting of the mind. You know, someone left that meeting talking about our movement. And a lot of times, you know, I don't believe in announcing something before I conquer it. And, you know, unfortunately, the feds hit all of us at the same time, which I don't think was a coincidence.
Yeah.
Now that is Rap A Lot Records founder Jay Prince speaking.
Yeah, so, you know, as you know, they destroyed and dismantled Murder Inc. You know, they done Suge pretty bad, and I was the last one standing, even though they put hitmen and different things on me as well.
Talk to me about that, Jay, because I mean, you're out here having a business and having things and growing. You got a family, you got friends. I mean,
now let's run that back. What did he say? What did they put on him?
And I was the last one standing, even though they put hitmen and different things on me as well.
Talk to me about that, Jay, because I mean, you're out here having a business and having things and growing. You got a family, you got friends. I mean, you're on top.
Now, who are they? Now, if that's not enough proof for you, let's hear it from Irv Gotti.
Another question though, Gotti. I was talking to Jay Prince, and he was telling me about you, him, and Suge coming together back in the day trying to crank.
Now this is Irv Gotti's talking.
Pick up a distribution label, man.
It wasn't so much of a distribution label. It was more brilliant than that, honestly. It was in every form of entertainment, you have a union. Basketball has a union, football, baseball, all sports have a union. Workers have unions who, you know, for that makes the movies. If you're a cameraman, it's a union. If you're a director, union. If you're an actor, you're a union. Music business didn't have a union. So what we was trying to organize is a way to form a union. And basically we was gonna take 10% of every artist's deal. So if you was a guy, you got $1 million deal, $1 million recording fund. We would tell them the label, the record label, to make it $1.1 million. So we'll take no money from you, but the label will pay and then recoup it from the artist. But that's $100,000. Now with that $100,000, you would have health benefits. You could go get your family. You and your family could go get health, dental. You go get your teeth fixed, and you would have insurance coverages, which you don't have now. You'd also have an annuity. So if you're an artist that went on like a 10, 15-year run, there may be a couple million in that annuity. So now you wouldn't be as fucked up. Like maybe you ain't got 5 cars, but you got 2. You still got your home.
Now, it's been a practice since the 70s or probably before that. The record label was to keep all the money and give the artists pennies. That's what it was founded on. Now, if they would have came and made something like that where the artists could benefit for a long period of time off their own music, then that's a problem, because you're cutting into the record company's profit. See, the record companies profit for years and years and years and years on these artists and their music. They own their likeness. They own their name. And these artists, long after the artists are not selling, the record companies are still making music off of them through their music catalog. Now, let's finish hearing what Gotti's saying.
Or whatever like that, and you got a little retirement money. So it was brilliant, man. It was brilliant, but I think the powers that be seen us three black men coming together and trying to do something, and that's when, shortly after, that's when the feds started fucking with all of us. Started fucking with me.
Now, who's the powers that be? Hey, some unseen force. We don't know. Like I said before, we never see the people that's really running the music industry. Now, in the case of Tory Lanez, does Tory Lanez have a point? Now let's look into Tory Lanez situation. Now, Tory Lanez, let's go on to Tory Lanez. Following the release of his new single, Temperature Rising, Tory Lanez is celebrating becoming an independent artist. He says, I calculated for 4 years. He wrote in an Instagram post, to be my own boss. I own all my masters, publishing and royalties, etc. Now, does that sound similar to Michael Jackson when he says they betted on him just wanting to be a performer, but he outthought them. He outwitted them in their own game, and they don't like that. You can't the house will never lose, like they say in Vegas. The house will never lose. You're in their house. So the house hates to lose. All right. This may not mean nothing to y'all, but seeing my record label at the bottom. Okay. Now, again, Tory Lanez retained possession of his masters. Now that's a lot of money. If you're an artist and you have hit records, like Tory Lanez, that publishing, that's a lot of money. Now, Tory Lanez, what happened? Tory Lanez, okay. Now, right a little bit after Tory Lanez made a decision to be independent, this whole allegations with Megan Thee Stallion pop off. Okay. Now, this week, they just now said he is being charged. It took them, 2-3 months to charge him in a crime. And apparently no witnesses said anything. And he this on the heels of his album and what he's saying in Most High. I mean, the song, the Most High, I mean, it is exposing a lot of things. He's exposing a lot of things. He's exposing the music industry. He's exposing the so-called Illuminati. And now that album has I would call it successful. It is it's successful. I don't know what it did numbers wise, but as far as probably streams, people posting it, I would call it successful because it's everywhere. It's everywhere, and he's exposing a lot. So now, after this album came out, they charge him. There has a lot of similarities into with all these other cases. A lot of similarities. Artists get masters. They want to be their own boss. Here comes the record label don't want that. Here comes the discrediting. Here comes the charges trumped up. Now, they was doing that for years with Michael Jackson. It was the allegations with the kids and etc. They said he was crazy, wacko jacko, the discrediting. That's just how the industry play. Like Mike said, they will do anything to discredit the artist. So for the question, is Tory Lanez being targeted by the industry? I would have to say it sounds like he is. But let me know what you think. Get in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.